Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro. Let's take a look at the moon transiting Gemini, Friday, October 10th. May create spontaneous feelings of deja vu and sudden surprises throughout your day as you continue working on whatever caught your interest yesterday. But now your magnetic and persuasive energy has increased to a point that seems magical to you and others. Or you now have a captive audience or a compliant and easily influenced group in your thrall, as the moon conjunct Uranus in Gemini forms a quincunx aspect with Mercury conjunct Mars in Scorpio, while participating in a grand trine and a kite aspect patterns involving Venus in Virgo, Neptune in Aries conjunct Saturn in Pisces, and Pluto in Aquarius. Having a purpose, a clear path toward your goal, and the excited feeling of anticipation around the thought of imminent success or popularity gives you the ability to mindfully and selectively utilize the extra physical drive and perceptive mental acuity the moon, Mars, and Mercury are giving you to get as much done as you can in the shortest time possible. Thankfully, the Grand Trine and Kite, as well as a mystic rectangle involving Venus in Virgo, Jupiter in Cancer, Saturn in Pisces conjunct Neptune in Aries, and Pluto in Aquarius, are all supporting flow, expansion, and multitasking. The Moon and Uranus are helping you to already see the end result of your current project or the bigger impact something you are considering will have on your future, while Venus opposing Saturn and Neptune requires either the application of spiritual principles to practical issues or pragmatic discernment to modify the means of achieving a dream if necessary. As the Moon and Uranus are stirring up some attention-seeking and receiving communicative impulses, you will share whatever you think, feel, and believe with others, and you may be aware of the effect you have on them. There can be an intense reaction if your views are controversial, or a delayed reaction if you are imparting information that someone doesn't yet have the capacity to comprehend. But your personal self-expression and uniqueness cannot be avoided or suppressed today. So here's the primary aspect that's influencing us today, and that's that green dotted line, the quincunx between the moon conjunct Uranus in Gemini and Mercury and Mars in Scorpio. And this definitely adds that persuasive energy to things, or that magnetic and slightly manipulative energy, the boldness, the willingness to take a risk or a chance is there as well because of Mars and Uranus being involved in this aspect. And the expression of feelings will also come out, and it may be difficult to keep them under wraps, even if you would like to very much. Mercury and Mars are square to Pluto, and I just feel like the pull that's going on here to get something out, that it would feel better to let it out than keep it in, whatever it is. And whether it's surprising or shocking to others, or you even surprise yourself by saying what you say, I think you'll feel better after the fact. Keeping the balance between the practical, pragmatic, material side of life and the spiritual side is what this opposition here in the kite is talking about. But going up to a higher level, we've talked about that before, with this minor grand trine that caps off the grand trine and creates the kite. Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, all outer planets, all basically saying that maybe you've tried to do this before, or maybe you wanted this particular thing to be happening in your life in the past, but you were not capable, you weren't ready. And now you've got a lot of planetary support to follow your heart, do the dream, trust your intuition and your instincts, utilize that mystic rectangle, because it does contain those two oppositions within it. And that creates a powerhouse of energy, but it is something that you have to consciously direct. You have to know what it is that you want. The two benefics, the lesser Venus and the greater Jupiter, are there with Pluto, power, control, deep desire, willpower, determination, and Saturn and Neptune, the beauty, healing, inspiration, the vision of Neptune, how willing you may be to make sacrifices to achieve what you desire. That may be another thing that comes up because of the conjunction of Saturn and Neptune. Saturn is the realist, Neptune is the idealist, and they are hanging out together. Sometimes that can feel not so good. Other times it makes you realize that this is the best you're going to get. So you better learn how to make do and be grateful for what you have gotten, or that it is the best thing at the time for you. And you will adjust and adapt accordingly to the influence of those two planets. What it doesn't mean when we look at the overall configuration of everything is give up or don't try or why even bother. It doesn't mean that at all. May not always be easy right now for you to get things done because we do have one T-square in here with Jupiter, Pluto, Chiron, and Chiron to the Sun and Jupiter. Some of the issues that come up right now may be your interactions with others. Either something feels like it is lacking, or you wish you had better support, or you wish you could be with somebody, or you wish you felt a deeper sense of belonging. Any of those things are possible. And maybe whoever you are having to interact with, you are thinking you'd rather be interacting with somebody else rather than them because of that T-square. But remember that relationships usually have some mirroring thing going on, and there may be something within you that you have been avoiding or denying. That Chiron here in both these T-squares is engaged in both of them. And if you want to grow Jupiter and be more empowered and transform Pluto, then perhaps looking at whatever you don't like in somebody else or whatever the issue is in the relationship, take a look at your part in it or something that you might not be conscious of in yourself. We do have a nice Cinderella aspect here with Venus making that aspect here to Chiron, that quincunx, and that won't last long because Venus is a fast-moving planet. It is very close today at Chiron at 25 degrees, Venus at 26. So do make the most of it. If you are looking for love or you are wanting to focus on improving a relationship in some way and giving more attention to matters of the heart, the Cinderella can also be felt financially, and you may realize with that quincunx that you know what you need to do. Now it comes down to doing it. Just begin. Get going. And we also have Chiron squaring Pluto, but it is not in a complete T-square here with Mercury and Mars. We have Chiron square to Pluto and then Pluto square to Mercury and Mars. The feeling of pressure building and maybe some worry or anxiety underneath everything else. But if you get into looking at those things, use them as a catalyst and a motivation to take the grand trine, the kite, and the mystic rectangle to higher levels. to basically say, okay, I see that fear, I see that worry, or I see this problem. I bless that, accept that, and I'm grateful for it because it's giving me the opportunity to do more, be more, and have more, and to demonstrate that I can achieve that. So that's it for today. Mercury still not too happy with a volatile planet and conjunct another rather, well, a very physical planet. Be careful, slow down, pay attention, take your time, watch everybody else on the road. Don't allow yourself to be distracted. This can be felt almost like a Mercury retrograde. And just slow down. It's better to get there late than to not get there at all. Okay, you take care, and I'll be back again tomorrow.